Welcome back to Mr.Potter prxjeth, and today we are going to be talking about the Michael biopic. This is my spoiler section.
So yeah, there's a costume change because whatever you saw in the previous outfit was after my first watch in standard format, and this is after my second watch on IMAX. Some of my opinions were different after rewatching it. That's why I wanted to, update the video with my newer opinions, and that's why I'm in a different outfit because I had to wear this for a different event. So yeah, coming back to the review, I think because I had a lot of expectations from the trailers, like when I see scenes of Thriller, Motown 25, and Don't Stop and Beat It, I think I expected at least 75% of those songs, like the videos, to be recreated, but they just do tidbits here and there, and those were stuff that let me down. So I guess the trailer did create a lot of expectations for me. I was even wondering how they're gonna pull all of this off within the 2 hour runtime, but on second watch, after I know what to expect, I think the movie was way better for me. And this time I could actually enjoy it because the first time I'm like trying to understand the plot of the movie and what aspects of his life they are exploring. But on the second watch, I know what's going to happen. I know each scene and I got to enjoy this movie. So for those of you who didn't like this movie from your first watch, I would strongly advise you to rewatch this movie maybe after it comes out on digital if you can't watch it again in theaters. Because I think the main reason you hated this movie was probably because you expected more for the biopic of the greatest and most famous person ever. When you saw what we got, it kind of let you down. But on second watch, it's actually way better. It actually bumps up my rating a bit. And also, I realized I forgot to give my rating in my previous video. Like, I accidentally cut it out. So I will be exploring the rating towards the end of this video.
You're strong. You're confident. You're the greatest of all time.
Okay, so now I want to talk about down things. Like first of all, I didn't expect them to actually have a scene dedicated to his first nose surgery. But yeah, there's like a 2 minute scene where he goes and gets surgery. Like even the doctor advises him not to, and I really wish he hadn't. But even the first surgery was fine. I really love his Thriller look. Even my wallpaper is the Thriller album cover with the tiger and all that. So after he returns to home after the surgery, there's this scene where Joe meets him and then he sees him with the the plaster and all that, and he's like, what? So I kind of like that. And then there was also obviously the scene with the Pepsi commercial incident where his hair got on fire. It is a fatal accident. He could have died in that. They even explained that in a movie. He met with a fatal accident that day and it changed his life forever. And if not for that incident, we might still have Michael with us today. It is a really sad moment.
In my previous watch, I was almost tearing up in the Pepsi commercial scene, but this time tears were actually like almost gonna drip down. And when you see him talking to his mother, talking about like no one can stop Joseph, it's not your fault. That's when tears actually like started flowing. And with the concerts, I actually really enjoyed the concerts even more, even though I already enjoyed it a lot in my first watch. So when I was watching the Human Nature performance, I was actually crying already. And with Shake Your Body performance, where he announces that he's gonna stop performing with his brothers, yeah, that was a really powerful scene for me. I could feel it even more because now I could see all the plot points connecting, and that this movie is actually not just doing fan service, and it's actually a great movie on its own, even if it's not a biopic of Michael Jackson. So it still holds up, and with the bad performance, it was great. It was absolute cinema. So yeah, let's put the meme down here, absolute cinema. And yeah, I really loved it.
What are you doing, man?
You'll see. You let your light shine.
Okay, since now we are talking about the concert recreations, let's also talk about the song recreations a bit more.
So at one point they had 3 songs together. I think it was Beat It, Thriller, and Billie Jean. They had a long pause before they finally got to Human Nature and Bad. Another thing is Wannabe Starting Something. This song was used in every single trailer. It was the most used song for the promotion of this movie. It was used as background score throughout the movie, but it was never there in the movie like the song. And especially the Mama Say Mama Sa Mama Kuza, Mama Say Mama Sa Mama Kuza. They never had this in the movie. But I really love how the the Universal intro and the Lionsgate intro played with the he. So it was really nice. It got me into the mood for the movie, so it had a really great start. Or then, of course, with the recreations coming to Thriller, I wish they just, did it a bit longer, but it was perfect. You know the Homelander meme?
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
That's why I want more. I think that's where the expectations kick in, where I expected more. But I think with the Motown 25 performance, it was a great recreation, but it was abrupt. Like right after Thriller, they just go to Motown 25. I expected them to do, dwell on it a bit longer, even maybe have the part where he's like, those were the good old days with my brothers. I love my brothers, including Jermaine, and I like the old songs, but I also like the new songs. I expected that part, but that was not included. That's the thing, it's abrupt. I keep saying this word, but I think if you watch the movie, you will feel that. I haven't really watched any other musical biopics like Bohemian Rhapsody, Elvis, so I can't really compare this movie to the others. But maybe if I watched those movies, I wouldn't have had higher expectations for this movie. But I felt like rather than doing it this way, because it's not even like a traditional musical, it's more of like a commercial movie, so why not just dial it up? Why not go full on into that rather than having
The Joe vs. Michael plot. I mean, I think after my second watch, that is the crux of this movie. It works for me actually, and the whole Joe vs. Michael plot was actually really a great thing for them to explore in this movie. Because yeah, if you think about it, in his rise, someone who you could place as the antagonist for a movie based on the early days of his life is definitely Joe Jackson.
I want to be who I want to be.
Do whatever you want. I own you from 9 to 5.
I need to start living my own life, just like everyone else.
You ain't like everyone else.
But with the second movie and maybe a third movie, if they ever get to that, I don't know if they will finish everything in a second movie. So that is already unprecedented in the biopic field. So I mean, it's Michael Jackson. He does what has never been done before. He creates the records. Yeah, it's amazing the stuff this man does, even when he's not alive. And so like, I think when it comes to the second movie, if not for the legal issues, they could have used the allegations and the controversies as the kind of the antagonists, like the press and the media, the people who conspired against him. But with the the legal issues, they can't do that. So I am wondering what they're going to do for the antagonists of part 2 and part 3, if they ever get to part 3 again. That's just my theory. I don't really see any flaws with the plot point now. And speaking more of aspects of his life, there's one aspect of his life that they kind of explored quite well, which is
the animals part and Michael's love for Peter Pan and Neverland and all that. I just want to address Bubbles. Bubbles was so cute and lively. I just wanted more of him, so hopefully we get more of him in the second movie. Hopefully they feature Neverland Ranch in the second movie, so that we get to explore Macaulay Culkin, I don't know how to pronounce it, Home Alone kid. Hopefully we get to see him with Michael and all those animals. I doubt that they will feature that, but I really want to see that. Yeah, so when it comes to the rating for this movie,
obviously you can see the outfit change. It is probably an 8 out of 10 now without the ending, and with that ending, with the concerts and all that. And like, not just the concert, even the Shake Your Body portion with him announcing his resignation from the Jackson 5. Yeah, it's definitely a 9.5. Of course, there are flaws in this movie. It's not the best movie ever. And I seem to give every movie on this channel like a rating of 9.5 or 8.5 at least. No, yeah. That's not the thing. This time, this movie was actually great. I've seen a lot of people call it a 10 out of 10. Obviously, it's not a 10 out of 10 movie because it could have been way better. Like I said, they could have dialed up the commercialism. They could have made it a really awesome movie, a movie with aura. I think they could have done way more fan service, even though there is a lot of fan service already in this movie and the critics are already hating on it. But I think it's a really awesome movie. I mean, the audience score is 97%. That's the highest for a biopic ever. The critics score is kind of the lowest for a musical biopic. So the stuff Michael Jackson does, bro.
I love you. It's too high, get older. It's too low, get up there.
At first, my major gripe with the movie was them treating Off the Wall as his first solo album, which is not. It's his 5th solo album. He had 4 solo albums, but later I found out that he actually didn't have creative independency in those albums. Off the Wall was his first album that he had got to choose his own producer, got to do his own lyrics, his own stuff in his own time without his father's supervision or anyone's supervision at all, actually. They chose to skip the first 4 albums because it doesn't matter, honestly. Like, this is what matters more. So I'm happy with that decision, and my only gripe now is that it was too racy. They couldn't fit a lot, so they had to skip a lot, especially like the 8 Grammy win in a single night. That's a record that no one has ever broken until now. I know there is one person who also got 8 awards in a single night after him, but that's it. So I wish they had a scene for that, but I'm okay with them just like, showing it in a montage shot, but I feel like it deserves some recognition. Also, the greatest night in pop, We Are the World, that happens in 1985. This movie goes straight from 1984 to 1988. So hopefully they backtrack a bit in the next movie, and then we get the greatest night in pop, explore that a bit for like at least 5 minutes, and then you show stuff that happens within these 4 years before you get on to the Bad album. Don't have to do Bad again. I would be happy if they, played Bad as the intro song this time round, similar to how they played Wanna Be Starting Something in this movie, and then you just go on into other songs in the Bad album, and then maybe do Dangerous and end it off with Dangerous. I would love for them to do a third movie where they end it off with History and Invincible. Maybe they could end the second movie with They Don't Care About Us, or like some song from History, and then continue the History album, just like I want them to continue the Bad album in this movie. They could continue the History album in the third movie and then go on into Invincible and then, his death. That's what I would want. But yeah, the abrupt ending, it's not really abrupt on second watch because I know it's going to happen, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff they did skip in the 4-year time jump before the ending. Hopefully they dive into that, and yeah, that's all.
So I just wish they would have maybe moved Bad to the next movie and focus more on this, or either that, or you push the runtime to 2 hours 45 minutes even, and then you do the entire album like Man in the Mirror and Smooth Criminal. But they didn't, and I feel like if that's the case, then maybe push Bad, but then the runtime would have been way shorter. So yeah, they should have done the full of Bad, and then so you had 3 eras in this. Now you're gonna have 3 new eras in the next movie. The songs I want to see in the next movie: Smooth Criminal, Man in the Mirror, Earth Song, definitely. Definitely I need They Don't Really Care About. This song was kind of the song that made me get back into Michael Jackson. That is a really great song. What else? I want Scream, but I know because it's the most expensive video ever made, and I really love that song. With Janet not even being in the movie because of her issues with the movie, yeah, it's just out of question. Oh yeah, with the Invincible era, I really need Invincible, of course. Unbreakable. Oh wait, how am I missing this? The Way You Make Me Feel, Dirty Diana, need that as well. And then oh yeah, by the way, Diana Ross wasn't really part of this movie, so I was kind of surprised that they didn't really adapt that part, which is kind of a major part of his story as well. And You Rock My World, I want that song as well. So there's a lot of songs that I really love. I feel like they have enough content to split it into 2 movies, but with the accusations not being able to be part of the movie, like they can't include it in, that's the whole reason why it was so messy to make this movie and they had to reshoot and all that. So with the whole thing like that, I doubt that they will make it into a trilogy. But yeah, those are my gripes with the movie. But
otherwise, this movie, it is a 9.5 for me. I don't think this is one of the movies that's just never going to drop in its rating, no matter how much flaws I find over time. Similar to No Way Home, they're just close to heart, and it's not about recency bias, it's about bias for these people.
But I really can't wait for the sequel. No one can become Michael, obviously, but Jaafar, he's the best version of, the best impression of Michael Jackson I've ever seen. That just sells the movie for me. But that'll be it, and until my next video, I was gonna end the video, but this apparently invites balloons into the camera because I'm using an Apple device to record this video, and FaceTime features are also available in anything that involves the camera apparently. So yeah. Okay, that was not planned.
Spread love, joy, and peace. That is what I want the world to feel. Magic.